Good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking time to listen to 5 Minutes in the Word. It's been a great week so far. I definitely miss our midweek services at church, and I hope that each one of you will take time just to listen to this 5 minute devotion, 5 minutes in the Word that we do nightly, and especially tonight, since it is Wednesday night. And as I said, I do miss that chance to meet together and study God's Word. Hopefully very soon we'll be able to meet together again. We'll see what our governor says and our president says about at least meeting together at church again and fellowshipping as a church. But there's a verse in the Bible that I really love. It's Philippians 1:21. It says, "For me to live is Christ, and to die is gain." We live in a me first society, where everybody's concerned about what's best for them. Everybody looks out for number one. And this even rolls out into the Christian community. We learned this word when we were a kid. The word joy means Jesus, others, yourself. But I think as we get older and we get into the real world, that word kind of changes to us. It's more like yourself first, Jesus second, and others last. But when I get saved, my life is purchased by Christ, then for me to live is Christ. In other words, my life should be focused on what Christ wants and not what Nathan Brown wants. Because even though we get selfish sometimes and we just want to do what we want to do, and we want the plans that we have for our lives and the hopes and dreams that we have for our lives. And sometimes even when planning our life out, we forget to include God in those plans. And we wonder why things don't go right. So for me to live as Christ means that my hopes, my dreams, my expectations, my plans now must line up with what God's expectations are, God's plans are, God's dreams are, and God's hopes for my life are. In other words, when I go to plan my future, I don't plan my future based on what Nathan Brown wants. I plan my future based on what does God want for my life. Because I guarantee you, the happiest place to be is in the will of God. If you've ever been out of the will of God for any amount of time, you can see very quickly that it can be a miserable place. It can be a place that you find no joy and no happiness. But when you're in the will of God and you're doing what God has called you to do, and you're focused on living your life for Christ, you'll find out very quickly that even though you have trials, even though you have tribulations, even though you have things that don't exactly look like they're great, we have a promise. Romans 8:28. "And I know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them that are the called according to his purpose." For me to live as Christ. Number two, to die is gain. None of us want to die. I'm 39 years old, and I'd be happy if I lived another 39 years or more. I could live 100 more years. I'd be happy. 139 years. Man, I'll probably get a record. But none of us want to die. But yet, it is gain. Because we look at the world we live in and we have aches and pains. We have sorrows. But when you get to heaven, there's no more tears, no more sorrow, no more pain, no more suffering. So if you really think about it in the long run, yes, to live is Christ, but to die is gain. Thank you for taking time to listen tonight. I pray that you're doing well, and I pray that you are staying focused on Christ even during this time. Thank you, and God bless. Have a great night.